This is a 2026 GMC Sierra 2500 AT4X. And I'm sure you guys can tell this is the new color for this model year. I borrowed this truck from Jerry Seiner GMC here in South Jordan, Utah. Be sure to ask for Frank. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys see the options and features on this build. At the very top is the description with the colors. And then here's a short listing of the standard features. Be sure to pause to see more. Base price comes in at $83,700, and then this one has the diesel, fifth wheel prep package, and then coastal Dune was additional $495. Destination comes in at $25,995 for a total price of $97,325. When I saw this color in the regular AT4, I wasn't a fan. But with the X having the black bumpers, less of the color is better. Just like the Thunderstorm. I actually think the Thunderstorm looks better in the X because the black bumpers really offset the colors. And if this was like 2 shades lighter, it would be like perfect. But overall, I would rock this color if I had to upgrade my truck in the future. Now, as you get a little bit closer, you guys see the sequential turn signals, dual projector beam headlights, LED fog lights down below, front parking sensors. The bronze does look better with the coastal Dune compared to the Thunderstorm as well. I would definitely recommend blacking out all the emblems. You can order your truck now with that option, so why not do it, right? You know what else would look good? If this part of the grill was blacked out, it would like really look perfect too. You guys see on the side here, you have that engine block heater. You would also black out this badge too if you get that package. Front parking sensors, red recovery hooks, active grille shutters. And they do take off the valance on the X's to give you better ground clearance. And I think it just looks better overall. You also get the Multimatic DSSV, which is the dynamic suspension spool valve. And they use spool valves versus the deflective disc. They do restyle the upper and lower control arms, new steer knuckle, and you guys see that fabric material for the liner, and then these meaty 35s. These are the Goodyear Wrangler Territory MTs 305 70 18. So the actual height is actually 34.8 inches, 12 inches wide, so you can see how meaty that tire is. They look great, especially going down the road. 8 lug. These wheels, I'm still not a fan of them. I thought they would grow on me, but they're okay. They're not the greatest. If I do keep mine, I might black out the rest of it. The machine face it just doesn't really go with the rest of the truck. So as you step back, I have a tree right here. But yeah, we'll get it from this angle here. Oh yeah, there it is. Coastal Dune really does hit, guys. It's a nice color on the AT4X because of the lifted truck too. Now, you cannot paint these, I believe, with the X, but that is available on like the AT4. And then on this side, you can see that Multimatic suspension a little bit better, and it does have an oil reservoir built in. It's not an active suspension either, so hopefully in the future, GM might incorporate that with these trucks. You guys see these lights are on here. You have your turn signals. I also have these lights on for if you're backing up a trailer at night, or if you're just backing up without a trailer. You have the blind spot alert. More cameras to make up that 360 camera view. Painted door handles with smart key system just for the front doors. And then you have these power deployable running boards with perimeter lighting. And I almost forgot to show you the skid plate. So here's the front. So you have pretty good protection right there. And then you get a bigger transfer case skid plate right there. So that's exclusive for the regular AT4X. If you get the AEV edition, you get a lot more protection, and especially for that transmission right there too. They do have the largest bed in the segment, and this truck does have an 1.5 inch taller ride height, and the tires are going to give it a little bit extra lift too. 36-gallon fuel tank, 7-gallon DEF. That's funny. That's new for 2026. That is too funny. So obviously people are putting DEF in this tank, and they had to put this. Now it says DEF here, but people are still doing that, unfortunately. And that's a $20,000 repair, by the way, too. So if you're putting your DEF in your diesel fuel, don't start your truck. Just get it sent to the dealership and tell them don't start the truck, because then you got to pay, yeah, close to $20,000. Here's that 5-leaf suspension there, more multi-matic. They do the wax coating still, and they provide a liner, clearance lights, and these fender flares and mud flaps are exclusive to the AT4X. Sequential turn signals out back. You have the black bumpers continued. Again, it just looks better overall with the black bumpers with the Coastal Dune. Camera provisions, 7-pin, and you still have the lock there. No LED lights here, however. Class 5 hitch. Check this out. Exclusive to the AT4X is a full-size matching wheel and tire. You also have an electronic locker on this truck. And kicker sound system comes standard. You do have an option to get lights here. By the way, these taillights are exclusive for the AT4X as well. 4 and 7-pin bed lights. 5th wheel prep package is slightly behind the axle. 400 watts of power. And if you do want a better solution for tie down, check out right here, Juggernaut. I have in the description a discount code for you if you would like to get these and save a little bit of money. They're definitely worth it. I've used it a few times, and so far I like it better than the factory setup here. You guys see the 2 cameras here? One for bed view, one for the rearview mirror. Power sliding glass with defrost. Sunroof is standard, and then this truck does come standard with clearance lights because of the extra width. You guys see the light and the camera there. You guys know the Multi-Pro tailgate has a lot of different functions. And then here is side view. I would try to post this video before Black Friday sales, but if you would like to get some discounts on some Banks products, I recommend their quarter intake. I also have the turbo inlet behind the intake system and the boost tube. So I've gotten significantly better fuel economy with the quarter intake, and I've proven that the inlet and the boost tubes do help with performance, especially for towing. I also recommend the relocate kit for these sensors. Because of your EGR system, you're putting junk back in the intake manifold, and those sensors get dirty really quick. I had mine in since 22,000 miles, and they were absolutely dirty. I'm probably going to replace mine simply because I tried to clean them and they're just not that clean. So just something to consider, especially if you're buying your truck brand new. By the way, the coolant, that is what they're getting shipped at. I saw another truck that looks low to me, but I guess maybe not. But yeah, 470 horsepower, 975 pound-feet of torque. All that power goes through a, for right now, an Allison transmission, because they're going to be switching this, guys. If you haven't heard, this is going away next year. So the newer trucks won't have that nameplate anymore. Also, they did put a sensor on the CCV. So yeah, I got rid of my CCV on my truck for sure. Just not something I want on my truck. And I put a catch can on through VSC, so all that stuff is available. But all in all, this is a pretty solid engine. I have 30,000 miles basically on my truck, and I've had no issues with the engine nor the transmission. Here's the interior for the X. This does have the 12-speaker Bose, 16-way seats with massage. You have that shoulder support and bolstering adjustments too. The only negative thing is I wish these seats were a little bit bigger, a little bit deeper, wider. Tilt and telescoping steering wheel. And I like these floor mats. You have the removable carpet. You guys see your full drive system. You have 2 drive modes, off-road, normal, and then you have tow haul mode, so I guess 3. Electronic parking brake, all your lighting's here. Heads-up display, suede material on the roof. And just premium materials like on the dash here. Love the accents around the entire interior. And one nice thing about this truck is, you guys see here, you still can use it for a bed camper. Now granted, it's only going to be 2,126 pounds, but there are some nice ones out there at that weight limit, so not a bad thing to have here for this truck, because Ford makes you opt for a bed camper and it's $160. So I like what GM does a little bit better. Dual climate control, heated and ventilated seats. There's that electronic locker, downhill assist, tons of controls, 13.4-inch display, and here's that center console. More USBs, 120 volt power plug, wireless charger. Yeah, this is all pretty much the exact same as my truck. The only difference is I have leather in my door card, but you know, every year they try to take something away, and I just forgot to show that to you guys. They did take away the handle back here. I completely forgot about it. So you guys know that they had a handle right there that lifted up, so that way you can grab it to get inside the bed because you have this multi-pro tailgate. They took that away on this truck for whatever reason. And then, yeah, 16-way seat on this side too. You guys see the wood too. That wood is like a burnt wood. Here's your extra speakers. Leather wrapping for the front and rear grab handles too. 60/40 bench. You have that storage here. And these seats hold up really well. I have 30,000 miles on my truck, and my seats still look pretty similar to these. Outboard heated seat buttons are right here. Sorry for the sun. USBs, no power plug, 120 volt, which I would like to see in the future. You guys see those floor mats? They cover the entire floor. I'm gonna show you guys some of the technology, and then I'll show you the payload next. Animations. If you put it in reverse, here's your 360. You can turn that off. They have these camera views too, and bed view. On this screen, fully customizable. The only thing it's lacking is more temperatures with actual numbers. I like to see actual temperatures versus just a gauge showing, hey, it's in range. No oil pressure either. Now you can add some extra stuff down below. So this is your oil pressure, but again, I like to see numbers. That way I get familiar with what looks to be normal, right? And you can change what you see on each side there. And on this screen, fully customizable. Now you don't have a high idle switch on this truck, so if you put it in park, turn on your cruise control, and if you push down, you don't have the high idle, so you have to opt for that on these trucks. So if you go to settings, and I believe it's under vehicle, you see climate and air quality, so you can do enhanced heating to heat up the truck for you a little bit quicker. So it does work like a high idle switch, but I prefer the high idle. That way you can do it automatically or manually for the truck versus automatically for the truck to do it itself, basically. But overall, this is a nice truck. I really enjoy mine. The seats are stiffer, which I like, so some people do complain about that, so hopefully they fix that in the future. Let's go ahead and check out the payload. Gross axle weight rating out front is going to be 5,600 pounds. Gross axle weight rating in the rear is going to be 6,600 pounds, which is class leading for 3/4 ton segment. Gross vehicle rating is 11,350, and 18/9 wide wheels. You don't normally see a 9 wide, you normally see 8 or 8.5, so I like that these wheels are a little bit wider. All-in payload is 2,876 pounds. Curb weight is 8,474, and it can tow 18.5 conventionally, 18.1 gooseneck, and probably fifth wheel. Gross combined weight rating is 27.5. And then here's that yellow sticker showing the tire pressure at 55 psi all the way around. I didn't show it to you guys on the tires, but max psi for these are 65. You see right there, 65 psi, 3,750 pounds of capacity per tire at that psi code. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, make sure your notifications are on. See you guys soon.